In today's video, I'm going to fix this trellis that fell over from wind and the fact that we also had lots of rain, so the soil was quite saturated. So I've got these metal posts that I'm going to pound into the soil and trying to lift this thing. This trellis is made from the ends of my daughter's old crib that we couldn't really sell or give away, so I repurposed them in the garden. And they're pretty heavy because they're pretty well saturated with water, so it took me a little bit to lift them up. And I'm just positioning it now so it's in the right place. Leaving a bit of room for the post. Gonna move it over a little bit. And I'm purposely leaving some space between the trellis and the actual raised bed side because that way I can plant peas on the other side of the trellis and be able to reach them very easily. Before, I had this trellis actually right butted up against the side of the bed, and we had problems picking the peas. I had to step into the bed to pick the peas, which is kind of awkward. So I'm just pounding in the post with my mallet. And then I'm going to attach it with some regular ties, self-locking ties. And unfortunately, the ties are a little bit too short. I actually ended up using all of my long ones, so the trick here is to actually grab two ties and actually snap them together. Just insert one tie into the other one, and then you got a super long tie. Then I can snug that up nice and tight. Pull on both ends. Try and make it as tight as possible. Not always that easy. And I'm going to cut off the loose ends. Pair of scissors. The weather has finally warmed up a little bit, so it's actually nice to be working in the sun, not having to wear a jacket. This time I'm actually grabbing a few ties, so I have them with me, and I'm going to put another post on the other end of the trellis. So it's nice and sturdy, and hopefully it'll survive the next windstorm we have. Because I hope to be able to plant peas here maybe in the next week or two. So pounding that one in. Unfortunately, can't see too much there. And once that's pounded in, I'll again attach it with some ties, and that should do the trick. You can see I have in the foreground there's still some beets and my carrots. And I'm just going to clean up the soil around it and try to fill in those holes again. Like I said, peas will go against this trellis. So there we are. You can see how weathered this crib is. But in a few years, if it's no good anymore, I'll just end up burning it. And you can see this one stave is actually pretty crooked from all the dampness, but that's okay. So as I was mentioning, we've got some beets here, and they've kind of overwintered all right. And I'm just checking to see. There's one right there. Not that big, but it'll do. Just checking to see if there's any others. There's more green than actual beets. Those two are a little bit too small. That one's maybe okay. And the little one I'm going to just pop back in. Don't know if it's going to grow much bigger. Probably have to clean up this bed soon anyways, so we can plant new. I'm not sure why I kept my safety glasses on. I don't really need them. I just had them on for the pounding of the steaks. And in the corner here, I did find one more. This one is a bit more sizable. And I'm also checking my carrots. I actually have a few carrots left. So this one, it's got a little bit of damage from some kind of bug. That's okay, we can eat it. I also still have some cabbage in the garden, and this one's actually a nice head. These guys are a little bit on the small side. And this head has a bit of damage on the side. It's actually kind of mushy, so I'm not sure how much of that we'll be able to actually eat. Moving over to the greenhouse, I have an eggplant that I noticed I have a bit of green coming up. These eggplants were overwintered, and most of them are dead, but this one has some signs of life. And like I mentioned, most of the eggplants and peppers that I tried to overwinter are pretty well done for. I'm going to have to compost them. And this pepper looks pretty sad too. This pepper looks actually not too bad. It's actually still green, and who knows, maybe it'll sprout some new leaves. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.